All right. Welcome to Bikas Web channel. My name is Bikas and I'm here back again with another video. As you have already seen in the title and thumbnail, this video is about how to make this kind of list sorting like you see here. Smooth. It also works in mobile devices using third-party library, and in this case I'm using React Beautiful DND. If you have already seen my previous video, I have created one without library, just this basic simple list sorting, and then I also created without library this kind of like a Trello board where you can just move items, or you can even add extra item there and then move that item and so on. But today's video is focusing on mainly only one list. I will just introduce you how can you also deal with multiple board. However, a proper video dealing about multiple columns and making almost like a Jira or Trello board will come in future. So for that you need to subscribe my channel. But today's video we will go in the concept how can we do this kind of sorting here using React Beautiful DND. And not only that you can do the sorting, a lot of you were asking me in these previous videos how can you persist this sort index in database. Well, we are not using in database, but in local storage we are persisting. So you can see that when we refresh, no matter what, even if you, let's say if I move this here and if I copy this here, I go to a new here, you can see the datas are persisted. And if I would just move it to here, and if I go here and refresh this, you can see these are also persisted because we have this local storage and we are saving all the items in sort index there. If that sounds cool, if that's what you are looking for, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed my channel already, subscribe my channel so that whenever I upload new contents, new videos, you will get notification. That being said, let's start today's video. Alright, so this is the project folder. You will get all the related link GitHub repo in the video description. In today's video, we will be dealing in this page, and here we will be using library, and this library is none other than this React Beautiful DND from Atlassian. Let's begin. And I have just checked out to this new branch called React Beautiful DND. And also I have already installed a package called, you can guess it, React Beautiful DND. And since I have TypeScript, I have also add type dependency there. Okay, that's all I have done. Otherwise this is completely empty project. So first thing first, let's just go to our container sort here, and then from here I will just copy this sample to dos, and let's just go here and paste this. And I'm not sure if I have export this type. Okay, I have. So let's import the type, and then I'll just go here and copy this thing from here. Additionally, all these types and everything can go in a separate folder. However, for this video this is enough. Okay, so the next thing, I'll just go here, and what I would like to do is I would like to create a state called to-dos state, and then set to-dos. Then we will just use React state. Now we can even define type here. This will be to-do type array, and initially we can just have those sample to-dos. So this is just a state so that we can deal with this state and everything. First let's make it work with UI and state, and then next we can talk about local storage and data handling. Alright, so before we proceed any further in this React Beautiful DND, there are simple concepts that I want you to know when we are talking about sorting, whether it's from container to container or from within a container, but from one list to another list. Alright, so for that let's go here. We have a beautiful example here. So this example, this is just one list, and that has multiple items, and we are just sorting here. And just to let you know, if you haven't checked my video already, this is how this project started. We were doing this without any library. Okay, it has its own benefit. It's easy, you don't have to depend on anyone. However, it also has disadvantages such as mobile touch and so on. That's why I'm going with this kind of third-party library. All right, so here all we needed is, because we have already one area and we are dropping and dragging within that one area, and then we always have some item which is called a source or the main item that we are dragging, and then there is always destination where we are dragging over. Okay, let's say we are taking here, in this case source is banana, and then we are dragging over apple, so that's the destination. And you see the destination now switch to other position, and then our origin source went there. Same thing also here. So we have, this is origin and this is destination, so from incomplete it went here, and in this case these are multiple lists, so each item inside here, these are also list here, and then technically we can also sort it. I haven't handled that logic. The idea is that we have items that we are dragging, then we have area within where we want to drag in, and each area are separated with unique identifier. And you need to understand this, because this is what this whole React Beautiful D&D works on, and you can go check it here. There are all these kind of things. These are different areas you can play around. There are demos and everything, and also all this mouse handling, touch and everything are supported with this, and that's why we are using this. So let's go to API, I guess. If I go to docs, and then inside docs we have APIs. So we have these three main thing. So we have a context, so that can be your whole page or anything, any board, your whole board or whole your list container can be a context. And then we have droppable, so in our case this whole area is a context, and then each of these columns here, these boxes, these are our droppable area, and then each of these items here, these are draggable items. So the same logic also applies here. Okay, so let's go and let's just check out, and there is this something called drag drop context. So let's go and let's start that. But before that, I think just so we have something going on, I'll just go here, copy this thing from here. Just let's go. Okay, well, first of all, let's go here, and then we will have to-dos.map. We have to do, and then here inside we can do something like this, and we don't need these anymore because we are not going to do our custom one. And then here in CSS, I may have created a new list item just for this draggable, because we don't want all those animation. So if you go here, we have all these animations and cursors and everything. However, React Drag and D or that beautiful library will use it. So now I removed everything. You can see even this CSS went off, but that's fine. Alright, so until now all we have done is just from this list we have looked through. We haven't used anything from this library. So the second thing we are going to do is let's just go here and let's take this context. So I'm just going to take this context. So let's wrap everything, all this thing inside a context. So that is drag and drop context. So if you hover here, it requires at least this prop. So let's just go here, and then we can do this, and we can just call handle drag int, and then here we can have a function called handle drag int, and it will have a result. And for now we can just console log result. Okay, and then this result, if we go here, if I just try to do something like this, then this one here, this will be okay. Anyway, there is something called drop result, if I remember correctly. Yes, okay. So now we have wrapped our this list with this context, and now it does still nothing. You see there isn't anything happening now. Okay, it's just the next thing is here in the doc. If we go back, then there is droppable, and this is where we define what is the droppable area. So let's just copy this. I'm basically copy pasting. I will explain you. So inside this droppable, as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. So inside this we have droppable, and this is going to be only one for your main board or feature or whatever it is, and then you can have multiple droppable, and that's almost identical to the column we had earlier. Okay, and then first of all, let's import this droppable. Okay, and then second thing, what we want to do is, inside droppable we need to provide some droppable ID. In our case, let's just for now do these to dos, and this type is something I'm not going to worry about. And then instead of wrapping directly your component inside this component, we need to have this in sort of callback function. There is a snapshot, and a snapshot has a lot of things. For example, one thing super useful is this is dragging over. So when we are dragging something on top of something, then if we want to change the color or expand the area or something, then we can use it. For now, to make it simple, I'm not going to even use this. So at the moment, all we have is, let's remove this second argument. So we have provided, which is inside this droppable. We are giving droppable some ID here, nothing else. And then inside provider, we can have any component we want, or any div, span, paragraph, whatever we want to do it. Okay, so in our case, let's keep this div as it is, and then let's remove this. And also, if you notice, there is something called placeholder. This placeholder is important because when we are moving item, let's say we have 5 items and I'm just dragging one item. That means when I drag that item, there will be kind of one item minus from the list, and then that might make our height or whatever area you are rendering jump up and down and not give a smooth feeling there. So just to have a virtual DOM of that whatever item being dragged to be as a placeholder there, we have this option. So it's almost like a default template boilerplate you are going to use, and this is all good. The next thing is what we call draggable. So first of all, let's move this here. Okay, and if I move this, if I go here, you see we have all these items, still nothing is happening. And now to make something happen here, I'm going to paste this draggable. Okay, and let's import first of all this draggable from there. Just like droppable, draggable also have exact same kind of thing. So there is ID, draggable ID. So in this case, we can call this, we can have this ID from todo.id. We have unique ID, and index is something I can just give index from here. Whenever we are mapping the list, there is this index, and the same index can also be here. Yes, you might be thinking, why are we using this map index? It is because it's just for the UI. We will be handling our own index when we are trying to save it to local storage or database. So don't worry about that. Let's get rid of a snapshot, and then you can see we have 2 steps, a ref and then whatever this prop. Same thing here, we have ref. That ref comes from this provided, exactly the same way that earlier had. And then in this case, we are taking draggable and drag handle props. Again, this is like a boilerplate, so you don't need to. Until now, the only thing we have ours is inside droppable, inside this div, we are now looping our steps, and then we have draggable here, and then inside draggable, we will, instead of this div, we will put our. So let's just first go here. Let's take this key from here, and I can paste this there. And then I will also take this class name from here, put this, and then lastly, whatever we had inside here, I will just go and put it there, and then I will remove this. And now let's see what is happening here. I think all good. So now you can see already that there is this hand signal. That means we can move items around, and if I refresh it, okay, there is some unique key here and where it is. So when I'm looping, okay, so instead of this unique key from here, I need this unique key here. Okay, and now here in the result, let's just go here and let's also print actual result. Now let's refresh here. So when I move from here, this is a source, okay, and then I want to move over here, that will be destination. You can already see that we already got source, that is in index 2, which is correct, but we don't have destination because, well, at the moment destination and that is same. However, let's just take it here, and now you can see that our source is index 2, 0, 1, 2, that's right, and then our destination is 0, and that was here. So that's good. Now we have destination and source, and if you see, that's the benefit of using this this library, because here we had a lot of logic going on. We had to first make this draggable, then we have drag start, drag over, and a lot of things going on, and we were almost handling the same logic, which we will do it also here. However, to get that working, we had to do a lot of manual code, and plus it was not working in mobile and so on. So here, just with this wrapper, you already make everything, your list, draggable. The next thing is we just need to handle on dragging. So just to give you idea how this sorting works. So for sorting, we first need to know what item we are moving. So the index of moving item, and that is something we can get from here. If I do something like this, so from here we can get source, we can also get destination. Like you saw here, we had source.index and we have destination.index. Based on that, in any array, we know that which item we want to remove from the source and then where we want to put it. So that's all, and everything is done just with this array dot splice method. So that's what we will do. Okay, so first thing first, before all these, I would like to do one more thing here, and that is I will just call it sorted to-dos. It's basically same as to-dos, and I can just do sort, right? And then in here we will get A and B, and then if A dot sort index is greater than B dot sort index, if that's the case, -1. If not, I'm always confused about this, but just going to copy this, and then also let's have this in React use effect. The reason why I'm having it, you will understand soon. So I will just do set sorted to-dos. Okay, and then here we need to pass the dependency. So now instead of using this to-dos here, where was this, I'm going to do this. So the idea is initially, well, let's just make this 0, 1 and 2. All right, so initially we always have this sort index here, 0, 1, 2. Although in UI we are using this index, but every time we sort, we want to override this sort index with this kind of sorted index, so that even if we are saving in database everything, we can make a use of that. So let's get back again here where we were. So first thing first, we want to know, we want to create a temp to-dos. So this will be nothing than sorted to-dos. So we want to create a temp to-dos here, and then we want to have a moved item, so the item that we are moving, and we can do this temp.to-dos splice, and then we can start. So we want to start from source.index, that's where we want to start. We want to delete one item. So you see what this does is it will remove whatever the item that we are moving away from the list. So this gives us a flexibility here when we are actually getting data from database or local storage. We cannot modify that actual data. That's why we needed something here, so that in our UI we can always render things based on this kind of sort index. So let's refresh it. Okay, it seems like it's rendering opposite. That's not what I wanted. So I'll just go here and do this here. Okay, now it seems like it's rendering properly. I guess I'm gonna also do the same thing here. I hope this is not messing with each other. All right, now we have moved item. With this we'll get moved item, and it is also removed from this, so it mutates the actual array, and that's why we are saving this item before it's gone. And then the next thing we want is we want to now add the item. So let's just do temp to do's. Okay, so now we want to start from destination dot index. Okay, so there is a chance that destination may not exist, so let's just go here, and if we don't have destination, we just want to return. Actually, not just destination. I'm sorry, I did it in wrong place. So from here, if we don't have destination, or if destination dot index is same as source dot index, in that case we have nothing to do, so let's just return it there. All right, now we are again, first we deleted the item from the array list and then saved that item separately. Instead of doing this, you can also first save the item from the index, for example just doing like moved item, and that will be temp to do's and then the index of that item. So for example source dot index, like this also you can save it, but just saving some line there and doing like this. And then we have this temp to do's splice, and we are now adding some item, and we don't want to remove anything. Here we were removing one item, but when I say 0, that means we don't do anything. However, it gives us this extra facility that we can add more items, one or more. So in this case we want to add moved item here. So what we did, we first removed it from the array, and then second we added this one step before this index item when we did 0. And then now we have finally we can actually do console log here and saved all things. So let's say final one, and this can be temp to do's, and then here we can also console log moved and moved item. So let's go here, let's refresh this. So now this is the item we are moving. If you see here, so we don't need to worry the import result there, but the move item is item 3, right? That's the item. We have even ID if we need to do specifically with ID. We have sort index and everything. And then the final one, if you see here, how does final one look like? Okay, so this 3 went to the first, that's what we moved, and then 2 went down, 1 went down. That's exactly what we needed. All right, so we have this. So finally what we can do is we can just go here and then set to do's, and then we can just save this to do, because that's where we want to save it, right? We can additionally also save this to sorted, but the problem with that is this is our original source, this is modified source, even though we are using this in UI. All right, so now if I refresh, if I go here and change this, okay, nothing is happening. And why we have we can't see anything there? What's the reason behind that? Well, if instead of this, if I had done instead of set to do's, if I probably had done sorted to do's, let's see if we would see the change, and we do. And we can move this here, we can move it here, we can move it here, we can move it here. That's good, but and that works, that's exactly what we wanted. But the thing is, we are not making actual source, or we are not keeping the track of actual data changes here, actual sort changes here. Because here we are only using this index, which means almost nothing, it's just UI thing. And then we do have this thing called sort index, but we are not updating that, and that's the reason why it happened like that. So to do that, instead of directly doing this temp to dos, let's go and do one more stuff here. So I can do map, and when I map I get to do, and then I can just, here what I can do is I can return to do as it is. However, there is just a second, I can probably even do return like this. Okay, so we can do to do, and then for sort index, what I want is okay, actually let's go here, let's take index. So we want to update this sort index, all the sort index with the index of our newly sorted index. I don't know, I repeated index twice or thrice. However, you know, for each array, no matter what, we always have index because items are in index. And this is our final one because we have moved items, we have done everything. So this is kind of our source now here, because it was copied from sorted and then we did everything we want. So whatever the index are here, however the index are stored in this array, is actually now the new index for everything, not just for the move item and source item, for everything. So that's why with this approach we are now setting that, and then you can see that our to-dos will actually get all the index updated. Even if we have 100,000, 10,000, doesn't matter, we will have this updated. And now with this updated item, if we want, we can save this in local storage, and then you can see it is sorted with this, and this is how it is rendered there. So it always follows that pattern. So now let's try to go and see whether what I said is correct or not. So let's move this 3 to here and it saves. That's good. Let's move this 2 here and it saves. Let's move this back here, it saves. Let's move here, it saves. Now when we refresh, it's all gone. Okay, and that is because yes, we are making use of it. However, we are actually not saving anything to local storage. So that's what we are going to do the next. In order to save it in local storage, I'll just go here and I'll just call const get initial to-dos. We can say anything, and then that will be, let's just use this one from here. So it will be either this or, well, anyway, let's just do that. We'll check that later. So now what we want to return is, do we have stored to-dos? Let's check it from local storage dot get item, and let's just call it to-dos for now. Okay, and if we have to-dos, so if we have stored to-dos, then we want to do json.pairs and then whatever the stored to-dos we have. If not, we will return something like this. So now we can use this, and instead of this sample to-dos, I can pass this, actually call this. Okay, and well, maybe in the beginning we can just pass this. So for the first time we have some sample to-dos there. Additionally, this could be coming from your database or whatever it is. Okay, that's good. The next thing is we need to also set item. So let's have another local React use effect. And then, so what I want is every time we are updating to-dos, what happens, we want that local storage dot set item, and it will be to-dos, and then we are going to JSON stringify to-dos. So And now let's go here, let's refresh. Okay, so now we have this kind of thing. And if we actually go to application here and local storage, okay, we do have to-dos, but we can remove it. However, it will automatically be added the first time we add there. So now if I refresh, can we check it here? So now we have this 3 to 1. So if I take this here, you can see this list is changing. So 3 went there. If I move this 2 here, you can see that list change. So now if I refresh, this is persistent. It really doesn't matter. Even if I close this and go here, open this, you can see that this is persisted. So this is how you can persist the sort index, and you can do as many time as you want, and that is possible. So this was our first part. And also just to demonstrate you, earlier when we did this, we couldn't move this in mobile, but you can move it here in mobile device and it will actually work and save it. So that's already good. A lot of you were asking how to make this in mobile, how to make it responsive, everything. Well, responsive is more of a CSS thing, but now functionality wise this will work. So this sums up our first part. And then for the second part, how can we do this in a different containers? Okay, so let's go to that direction a little bit. I will not do everything. I will not make it work fully, because if you watch this video from container sort, and if you have watched also this list sort, then you will understand how to do it fully. But I will give you concept, okay, just so that you will understand how we can do this with a drag and droppable. So here, instead of this, let's just go and let's copy a couple of styles from here. So first of all, what we had this. Okay, so we had a wrapper. So I'll just go here. Inside this we have a wrapper. Inside this here, I will also put this column wrapper. Let's just go here, and inside here we can have a title, and the title can be, well, for example, incomplete. Okay, and that's good there. Then the next thing what we had items. So, and then I also want this droppable. So okay, so something happened here. Let's check out what happened. So before droppable we have one div. Okay, so let me just go here and remove this, and then make this, and then all this droppable should go inside this. Okay, as you can see, now we have this column. So it's all style from here. So here we were using this dynamic logic of column map. So where was the column type? Column. Okay, so this was column map. So I can actually do something like this, export, and then I guess the same logic what we had here, this column map. Well, first before that column, so we have this is incomplete inside column. So what we need to do is just copy this like this, and then here we can call it completed. And now you have this to do, but they are sharing exact same items. So just like how we were doing here, well, we had this dynamic filtering, but for now, just to understand the concept, so what we can do here is in sorted to dos, this one, and then also this one here. Let's just add filter and to do dot column. For now, let's just do incomplete here, and then here that is incomplete, and this one I will change it to completed. Okay, now you can see we have only 3 items, and there is incomplete and there is completed. And we also will get some problem here if we try to do something. So let's just go here, and first of all, in this droppable, we had to-dos, but instead of to-dos, we can say to-dos. We can even just say completed, and then here instead of these to-dos, we can call it incomplete. All right, so now we have two areas, everything good. However, we need to add few more datas here, so we can visualize things. So let's put this sort index 3, this is sort index 4, this is item 5, this is item 4, and here instead of completed, and then I'll just copy this and mark it completed, so that, okay, so something is wrong there. Here we have everything that is incomplete, and here we had all the columns that were completed. Okay, so the reason behind that is we have this local storage, so that does not get updated. Okay, now it got updated. All right, so now if we go here, if we go to console, if I drag one item from here to this one, okay, something happened, something messed around, but the main thing I wanted to show you, if you go to result here, you see we always had this droppable ID. So now the source droppable ID was incomplete, so we started from here, and then the destination droppable ID was completed. So this is what we know. Okay, and now similarly, if I move from here to here, then you will see that the source was from completed, and we have index, we have the ID of the source item like we always do, but then we also have the destination this. So basically just with this we can try to switch something. It will not work perfectly, but just giving you the concept. So here in this move item, before we edit here, let's go here, and then what we can do is move item, the column, and we can change this to whatever is the destination droppable ID. We will get a warning because this is a string and this requires exact this. So just for now I can just give it as any, or additionally we can also give this like column type. So for example, I can just give this, or you can actually just leave it as it, but if I import this and this satisfied. So what I'm now doing, okay, so if I move this here, well, it's not moving completely. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. So I did change moved item column to destination droppable ID and then edit that item. So let's refresh this and let's move this one here. So the result is, well, there is destination index, there is source index, and because they are exactly same, so that's why this is not being called. Let's just first move this because for now it might be beneficial for us. So let's just try to move it here. Now you can see that it actually went there, and even if I refresh, it stays there. And if I want to move this here, it actually, no, let's just move it here, or let's move it there. Okay, it moved. Okay, now I resetted this, and I think now it's still possible to do it. Okay, it went there. Because sorting between each items are probably still a little bit messy, because we were only thinking about one list, but when we have two lists, then we need to also think the sorting between two lists. So I will bring more videos in future, building a proper board, almost like what you saw earlier in the example, Trello board or Jira board or something, with multiple items and everything, almost with this, but also in such a way that you can also sort within the board or within the list, or you can sort with other list or add item in anywhere within other items list, other columns list, and so on. All right, So I hope today's video was useful. Finally, this video answers a lot of questions that a lot of you were asking: how to persist this index in database, how to handle these mobile cases and all. Now you know all. And even for these videos, although I have not persisted all the data there, you can, with the same logic how we did today, you can use the same logic and then have extra field called sort index or something, and then there you can save all the persisted indexing, so that in your UI, no matter when and how you will refresh, it will always show whatever the sorted data you have done there. That being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, if you learned something from this video, then smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed my channel already, subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in next video. Until then, keep coding. Bye bye.